Guys, I don't know if you know this, but at one time, I was a fairly decent custom knife maker. Let's take a look at 3 knives that I made, but we're not going to look at them yet. Yes, I made all of these knives. I made them by hand. I didn't make the sheaths, just the thing, and I did not make these pins or the screws, but everything else, pretty much, I made these knives. So let's look at them in the order that they were made. So let's get everything out of the way and take a look at this one. So before we even start, I just want to let everybody know, everybody always asks where I get these mats. And if you were to look real close here, where it says right here, www.knafs.com, Knafs, that's where I got this mat. I have 2 of them. One's a Ferrum Forge one that was a gift, and then I got this one at a discount. So this is the first knife I ever made for my buddy Tino. This is a full custom version of the Wii Stonefish, which I have one for comparison so we can grab it, and we'll do the same thing with the sea snake. But yeah, I made this for him. He had a specific request. This is done in 20 CV with black ceramic coated titanium screw hardware and Kevlar light. Let me get this right. This is not lightning strike, it's thunderstorm Kevlar. So it does have wires and stuff in it. I made these handles, I torched them, and then we colored them with the torch, and then my buddy Nico clear coated them so that the composite material, it was really loosely bounded. It just kept coming apart. So I did this for him. This is hand ground. I did not use a jig. That is a freehand grind plunge. He wanted some stuff here. He wanted some rock patterning here on the spine. You'll see some of that on the one of the other knives as well. But then he wanted me to polish the blade, do a tiger stripe pattern, as you can see, and then stonewash it because that's blasted on there. So this was a lot of work. This was a very intricate build that I did. Rock patterning on the spine, all the way down the entire thing, except for the finger choils. And I'm really proud of this one. This one is about one of the best ones I did when it comes to freehand plunge grind. There's some inconsistencies, but like I said, I didn't use a jig. That was just me putting it up against and using my hands as a guide. So let's get the production version of this knife out so you can see it side by side. So side by side and even sheath by sheath, you can see that We Knife Company did a really good job of duplicating this knife. Dimensions are a little bit different. Blade stock is a little bit thinner. Handles are a little bit more contoured and a little bit different. But all in all, this is my personal one. This is the only one of these I own. I don't even own one of the customs. All in all, they did an amazing job duplicating what I had done as a custom knife maker and turning it into, I mean, it is one for one. I mean, they are the same knife with just the minor exception of maybe the grind's a little bit different, blade stock thickness. So really proud of both of them. And as you see, fan of functional jimping. That is very functional jimping. Nice and deep, nice and sharp. This was my take on a modern combat knife. So there you go. A custom Stonefish, CrazySharp Stonefish. So originally named the Hornet, but then I got a cease and desist. So let's look at the next one. So the next one we're going to look at is Matt's custom sea snake. Now he wanted the same handle material. So all 3 of these knives are the same handle material. It's that thunderstorm Kevlar or lightning strike Kevlar. I don't know which it is, but we went with a more rustic finish on this. And this one is in S125V. And now this S125V, I did the heat treat on it. Elliot and I ran the heat treat. He told me the protocol. I ran this. Now, the thing you have to remember is S125V annealed before heat treat is 55 Rockwell. There's a lot of people that if you gave them a knife in S125V that they wouldn't know. If you hadn't heat treated it, they may not know. It's as hard before heat treat as a lot of other steels are after heat treat. But this one is upwards of 67, 68. I did not get it Rockwell tested, but I do know, and if you don't believe me, you can verify with Big Brown Bear. He was part of that HRC Mafia guys that were doing all that. 67 is about where you start scoring glass. So this is 67 or above because it will still score glass. This one and the next one, both in S125V. But we did a finish on it that he wanted more of a pitted finish. And so we did that, and I think it came out looking really good. Now, I will say, this knife took twice as many belts. It took as many belts to do this grind right here. Not the cutout, not the finishing, not any of the other stuff. It took as many belts to just do this grind as it took to make the previous knife in its entirety, because this stuff is so incredibly wear resistant. Matt's had this knife for like 2 or 3 years now, maybe longer. And I've only ever had to sharpen it once. It's in for sharpening now, and it's still, to tell you the truth, not that dull, and he uses it a lot. This was a lot of fun to make because it was really challenging. It's the first time I'd ever used S125V steel. And to get it to come out and have it be something usable and attractive, I'm pretty proud of. The pins, we used mosaic pins. I did not quite get them exactly straight. As you can see, they are offset from each other ever so slightly, but it still looks good. And so that you get a comparison, let's take a look at this side by side next to the production version of this knife. So production version of this knife is just like the Sea Snake. It is very close to the original customs. Artisan did an incredibly good job, just as Wii Knife Company did, of duplicating my idea. The only difference is really blade stock, blade material, and this is production ground versus hand ground. These were done really well, and I'm really happy that these have sold, and I'm glad a lot of people like them. Some people are like, oh, would you make me a custom Sea Snake? 1, I don't have material for it. 2, the fact is there's already a very good version of that knife. This is my personal one that gets carried all the time. There's already a very good version of this knife out there. And if you want one, I would say get one of these, because this knife cost Matt, between materials and all the stuff that I had to do and the time involved, about $800 to make this knife out of these exotic materials. So it's easier just to get one of these. But yeah, really proud of this. This was the one that I had on me when I went to, this is the one that Artisan saw. This is the one that made them want to make this, was this knife. So really proud of it, really happy with it. So there you go, the second knife that I made for my buddy Tino. Guys, I hate to interrupt the video because I know we're having fun, but I do have to do the YouTuber thing and remind you that this channel is self-sponsored with all the affiliate links and stuff you see down below. Anything from knives, tools, EDC gear, and Blade HQ, anything, all the Amazon links, they all support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. So I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now let's go back to the knives. So this is the third knife that I made for Tino. This is his Habu. Now this was hand done by me. It was my first hollow grind I ever did. It is a full hollow all the way down. And this thing is also an S125V, which this time we went with removable hardware, just like we did on the previous one. Now this one is ground incredibly thin. He wanted it super thin. I wanted it, it was a challenge. He said, look, if you screw it up, we just won't do the knife. He said, I'll just pay you for materials. I was fine with that. This came out 0.0097 behind the edge. Sorry about that. Bumped the button again. So like I said, yeah, super, super thin. We did a full hollow, and we did not do a blast or tumbler. I do know there's a hiccup there. I am going to have to refinish this. I don't know how that happened, but there is like a little shine right there. So we will fix that the first time I have to refinish this knife. Have not yet had to resharpen it. It is ridiculously sharp. But basically the Sea Snake and the Stonefish, I'm sorry, the Sea Snake and the Habu share the same handle profile. They are basically the same knife. Now this knife, the prototype of this knife was made way before the Sea Snake ever became about. I had made one of these for my daughter. You guys have seen that. And Tino was like, hey, I want one of those. Can we do a Warncliffe? And I just basically drew the knife on a piece of paper, the one I had already finished, and flipped it over and lined everything up and just drew the blade was straight. So if you were to look at the blade on this and the blade on the Sea Snake and reversed them, they're identical. Big finger choil on it and everything. But like I said, in S125V, again, took even more belts because I removed a lot more material, but I think this came out great. And like I said, I'm not claiming I was the best custom knife maker out there, but when I look back on these, I'm like, you know what? I actually was pretty good at it. I did a pretty good job on the ones I did. They were rustic. They were never meant to be anything, but what they were was a good quality, hard use knife. You could use this for years. And then the really nice leather sheath that we had done by a guy named Randall Mackey in Texas. This is not the same guy you found on Instagram. If you guys are interested in getting a sheath from this guy, I have his phone number. I can get you in touch, so just reach out. But this sheath came out great. The knife came out great. It's Scout Carry. Same guy that Jim Skelton uses to make sheaths for his custom knives. So yeah, beautiful knife. I'm really happy with this, and I'm happy I'm getting a chance to show them all to you. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this around and do some final thoughts so I can close this, so I can turn these lights off and open this garage door because I am sweating a lot. Guys, 3 knives that I made that I was pretty proud of, and I made them all for the same guy. And Tino's a really good friend. So those knives all came out good. There's a couple other out there that I think really show off what I really did when I was making some good custom knives. One of them is our buddy that has one that owns Otter Arms. It came out and it has green glow in the dark handle. So there you go, guys. That's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe. Share the videos with people you think would like them. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications of the 9 videos, 5 shorts, and 3 live feeds that I do a week. Other ways you can do it. However, if you want to support the channel financially, I have a ton of affiliate links down below. I mentioned it mid-roll of the video. Anything you purchase from the affiliate links down below directly supports the channel. So check it out. I've got a bunch of stuff: gear recommendation, knives, a VPN, coffee brand coffee, some other stuff, Blade HQ, where you can find most of the stuff you see on the channel. So it directly supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. I also have a membership where you can get it on a tier-based membership. Tiers get you different benefits. Just pick a tier that gets you what you want. Everyone saves $5 off my sharpening service and has access to my gilded server. Baseline and premium tier members are automatically entered into giveaways that I do on the gilded server, and the premium tier guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series I've built. And the final one is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. where you can pick up my merchandise. And if you want to purchase my merchandise, I can save you 10% at checkout with the coupon code CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp. It saves you 10% anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. at checkout. And if you send pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in a video. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.